Welcome to Duke's United show, and it's a very red Thursday today. We are all very, very happy, as you know. I'm sure, Marcel, I'm sure, Garf, you're both very happy with that performance on Wednesday against Spurs. Marcel, I've heard from Garf. Marcel, what are you telling me about this game? Because we played some of our best football. I know we're going to be talking about that in a second. That's actually one of the things. So I don't actually want you to answer that straight away. But how are you doing anyway, Marcel?
I'm good, thank you. Good. I just come back from obviously Stockport. I was in Stockport, but obviously Manchester's where the game is. So yeah, just come back from there now, and just taking in
Back
the
in
win. After a win, I think those last couple those days after it, it's like, especially for players, but then even for fans, we're still soaking it in, taking in what's happened, the performance, how we've played. So I'm just in a positive mood, of course. So yeah, feeling great.
Yep. Garth, how are you doing today after the day? After the day of some
Yeah,
great stuff.
excellent, mate. What I love to see was on Twitter this morning that the hashtag pray for Bentacore was trending, and that made me smile as well. So after everyone saying it, it just made me smile, bro. So yeah, great day yesterday. Bet like we've already said, mate. Best I've seen us play personally in a couple of years, mate. Honestly, that I haven't seen us dominate a team like that in a couple of years. So,
Adam, he said it exactly how it should be. Can I swear we were effing amazing? That's the best football I've seen United play, and I can't even remember when I've seen them play like that, like in total control, playing the game like that. And that's what I just want to. I want to get onto that in a bit, but let's get on to the first thing that's happening. So there's some madness going on at the moment. Obviously, a certain someone has thrown his toys out the pram. So Ronaldo. He's disrespected Ten Hag. I did a little bit of work there.
just dropping that on us, Dave.
Yeah, so he throws his toes like the pram. And look, the minute we saw him running out, we were wondering what's going on. But we just thought, you know what? Who cares? We're winning. Who cares? And that's exactly what Ten Hag said. I didn't even think about it. I will deal with that tomorrow. And he has definitely dealt with it. Nathal says Ronaldo not needed. We have the best striker in the world. I'm sure he's talking about Marcel.
Jadon Sancho. Is that what he's talking about? Jadon Sancho. Yeah.
No, he loves Marcel.
Charlie McNeil.
Smash the spuds, of course. Yeah. But look, the great thing is, well, not the great thing. The good thing is we don't actually need Ronaldo. And the thing is, he's pushing himself into a corner where we're not going to need him. But Garth, when you first saw that, what were you thinking when you saw him going off at first? Obviously, in more detail. I know we spoke about it. We touched on it last night. But when you saw that, what were you thinking in your head?
Initially, straight away, I was like, "Oh, mate, such a Ronaldo move. Make it all about you." You know what I mean? Because Ronaldo must know. He ain't silly. He must know that him storming off down the tunnel with a couple of minutes to go after a great win like that is going to make headlines. And then, obviously, the more that's come out now, the more I'm like, oh, mate, where's this mentality monster? Where's this professionalism gone, mate? Like, if it's true what we're reading, and it looks like it very much is, and he refused to come on the pitch, then what can you say? Yeah, listen, I love Ronaldo. I've always been a man who never thought of him as a legend of this club, though. I think he's a good player that's played for us. Like he was here for a few years, then he moved on to Real Madrid, and then he's come back. So it doesn't feel. I don't see him as like the legend that a lot of people, the younger people, do. And I understand that he's the best player of all time, but yeah, it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. I'm lost for words, as you can see. I want to dig him out properly, but what's the point? It looks like Ten Hag's moved in and gone, boom, it's done, it's over. You're not training with us. You're not coming in the squad on match day. So yeah, exactly. he's got to go. He's got to go, ain't he? So
Marcel, look, he said he didn't want to play. He walks off. He's now not playing in the Chelsea game. He's not going to be in the squad. He's actually not training with the first team anymore. Is there any way back for him now? Or do you think he can maybe get back in the good books later on if he decides to fix up? Or do you think he's just never going to fix up because of who he is and what he's done? Do you think that's just him now?
Yeah, it's a really peculiar, like, it's very difficult to answer that. So, and I do want to ask you a question on it because you've played at the top level before. So I need to ask you, where does your mind have to be to get to that place? His ego is maybe way inflated than anyone's imaginable. But the first question I'll ask you is where does your mind need to get to decide that you're going to disrespect the players, people, the fans come in, your manager? Where does your mind have to be there? And then what about on the flip side? What would you feel if you was a player on the pitch watching, somebody of his stature coming off the pitch, or you was on the subs bench, you was in the Langer's position, say you was coming off ready to play, and you've warmed up with Ronaldo. Like, there's two questions there. How would you feel as a teammate of that behavior, and where do you think somebody that produces that behavior, where do you think their mind has to be? Because you've obviously played at that level. You've played in front of crowds. You've been amongst successful teams. Where does that come from? I don't understand, because it's a very peculiar behavior, and it shouldn't. This club is a global entity club, Nathan. So and Garf, how can he do that? I don't understand that.
Well, number one, obviously, as a teammate, you kind of gotta. Everybody's like their own man in football. You're a team, but you're on your own. If you get what I mean, you're on your own, but then you're part of the bigger picture. And when there's a problem, when you and the club, the players don't get involved in it. So they don't get mad. They don't usually get mad. And it's like, if he's on the bench and we're losing and we need him to come on and score, and then he decides, nah, I'm not coming on, then it's going to affect the team a lot more. So then the teammates might go, you know what? You're taking a mick there, mate. Listen, I know you're struggling here and you're not in the side, but look, we needed you to come on in that game and you haven't. Like, that's a massive difference to you're 2-0 up, coasting, and he's coming on. So both ways are obviously not great, but it's like you don't need to get involved in it because it's not affecting the team. But the minute it affects the team, players should be on him like a rash. They will be all over him. So that's number one. Number two is where your mind has to go. It's, look, if you feel you're being really hard done by and you feel like you're in a position of power, then your patience has been weared thin. That's when you start doing things to make sure the club are forced into doing something, if you get what I mean. So his mind is now, listen, I ain't staying here sitting on the bench. I'm out. And I don't care what happens, I'm going. So that's what's in his mind, is like, I go and walk off now, he's going to realize I'm peed right off that I'm not playing. But at the same time, the club have to do something. So then they're like, listen, go then. And so he's getting his wish because he knows that's the only option he's got. How do I get out of this contract and just go, because I ain't dealing with this? And that's what's happened. So yeah, so from both point of views, I think that's what's happening. And he knew that he can't walk away at that one. He could have walked away. He could have afforded to do that yesterday. But any other time, like I say, everyone would be on him like a rash.
Yeah, I'm glad because, at the end of the day, he's not bigger than the club, guys. I really don't think he could ever be bigger than this club. And we're going to need that 500k wages to go into the market with in January. So there's a benefit there for the team. And I'm glad Ten Hag made it that was the most important point, that at the end of the day, the squad played well and he would deal with that tomorrow. That's so perfect. I love how this manager is handling things in the media. He's not making it about individual entities. He's making it about this team, and this team produced fantastically last game. So
unbelievable. Just a few of the comments. Just Donny says, I've seen too much disrespect online about CR7. I'm not comfortable with it. Well, he's done it to himself. Callum Miller says, love Ronaldo, but we should never have brought him back. Possibly, yeah. I agree with you on a lot of that. Sir Alex says De Gea was excellent. Marcel, gonna have to answer that.
I was going to be starting this early, are we?
Bob says, evening, lads. And Roy Rovers says, fans need to stop being sorry for Ronaldo. So, yeah, you might want to answer that one, no, Marcel, before we move on to the rest of it. Go on. What are you going to say about De Gea today?
Fantastic. Do I think he can develop into a regular role in goal for us? I don't know. I'm going to say no, though, and I don't think he deserves maybe to get that extended contract. It's astronomical wages that he's on. So if he's humble enough to reduce those wages, then you can maybe afford him the time. I think a lot of fans think maybe he deserves this time for the performances that he's had in previous seasons for us. I personally don't think. I think we have to be, out with the old, in with the new. And Ten Hag's a new manager. He wants opportunity to get his squad. I think Ten Hag should at some stage be able to have 15, 16 players that were his signings. I think that way we'll be able to produce football that that we're seeing exactly like against Newcastle. Okay, we didn't convert chances, but it was good attacking play. Even better against a very strong. We haven't been able to break down Banks of Four in the way that we did yesterday in a long period of time. So can De Gea fit into that? It looks like he done very well, very, very well last game. I just don't think he can produce that over 38 games or let's say 28 to be nice to him. But, maybe we still need to look into the market for a new goalkeeper.
Garf, what are you thinking on that one there? Obviously, we're going to just go on that. What do you think about De Gea? Do you agree in everything he said there, or you got a different point of view, or what?
Yeah, no, listen, I agree with Marcel 100% that in the end, we need a better a goalkeeper with better distribution. Is 100% a fact. As I've said for a while, I don't think it's an emergency situation yet, and I think last night shows that De Gea can give more than he's given. But I also think the fact he's doing it is because he knows his time's up. I think he knows that. You know what I mean? I think he's trying to keep his he's trying to show he can do it now. Hopefully it does. Hopefully he can. But at 31. It's one of them things, isn't it? Like, can you really bring that into your game out of nowhere? He's never had it before. And I think that's where you're coming from, Marcel, innit? You know what I mean? Like, can you do it over 28, 38 games a season? I'm not sure, man. But I think that's where you're coming from, Marcel, innit? So I agree with that entirely, man. Yeah.
Yeah, well, with me, the same kind of feeling. I feel like it's not right now. We really need it like we did in a few other positions, like the CDM. I think we can see the difference that's done now. And other positions that we're going to need, like pressing position, is like forward now for me. Centre forward with great ability to score goals, like proper finishing of the highest level. If we can get someone like that, I'll be happy. But yeah, De Gea done a good job. He's done a really good job, and hopefully that continues until we get someone in, and then he fights for his position, and then hopefully there is a takeover of that spot. And that should how it naturally progress, to be fair.
Can I just throw it out there as well? He was under no pressure last night at any point. You know, it's a very easy game for De Gea last night. I'm not taking anything away from the performance, but it is much easier for him to make them passes when he's not like suffocated by the opposition. Even though Spurs tried it here and there, we had options like in front of him was helping him, moving around, giving him options. Yeah, he played a couple of nice pings out, but I'd like to see if he can do this in a real tight game. It's a 1-1. And we need him to be better than he usually is. Then listen, he's a magnificent footballer. Maybe he can get up to speed. You know what I mean? 31's no age for a keeper, really, but I don't see it. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was not part of the 5 topics, but anyway, let's go to topic number 2, and that is the amazing game yesterday. We eased past Spurs easily. Yeah, it was weird because I'm looking at the game, before the game, and I'm thinking Spurs are third. Spurs are beating up people. Spurs are looking sick. Kane's got so many goals. Son's so good. Did the combined 11, and so many of their players, I got convinced were doing that good, that they're way better than us. Not even way better than us, but are performing better than us. And then we go and destroy them like they're nothing, like they've always been when we play them. To be fair, near enough, most of the time we play Spurs, that's what we do to them, unless we're obviously in turmoil like the last few years. But yeah, we've been putting them in the spliff blood, as Figgy says.
As X says, yeah. Mate, I'm old enough to remember when we gave them a 3-0. We gave them a 3-0 with a half-time lead once, didn't we? Then beat them 5-3 in the second. I remember that one back in the 90s, you know what I mean?
That's what it was about, man. So for me, it was just a weird one that we was able to do that. It just gave me confidence that the Arsenal, the Liverpool was not a fluke. It was, listen, we're here to actually stay apart from City. We're here to stay. We need to let's leave City out of it. But yeah, we're here to actually cause some trouble this year. And what do you think of the game, Marcel? We've had obviously a bit from Garf. You can expand on what you said yesterday. But Marcel, I haven't heard a lot from you. I listened to your fan come on United View. But yeah, tell me what you thought in more detail.
Fantastic. It was a fantastic performance from everyone. I thought to myself, we're looking at the next 3 games: Spurs, Chelsea, and West Ham. 3 tough games, 3 good London teams, 3 of one of the best London teams, and we're all going to be competing for that top 6, maybe 7 positions in the league. So you need to win these games. These are almost 6-pointers, especially at home. And I thought to myself, we've been an absolute fortress at home. Obviously not the first game against Brighton, but Arsenal was a very good performance. Liverpool and of course now Spurs. And when I look at it, it's exactly the kind of football that we were trying to embark on, and the style that we want to play. We want to be able to dominate teams and pin them back into their half. So it was a good practice, and it's at a top level. Conte's a very, very good manager. The team is playing in his vision, in his ideal. So for us to be able to beat a team that's very, very good defensively, it just speaks volumes to the way that the team's playing now. We didn't have Eriksen on our side. That's another big plus point. We didn't have Eriksen playing for us. Martinez is looking like one of the best centre backs in the league. He is so consistent. I mean, he bullied Harry Kane, and Harry Kane had maybe just one chance that he missed in the first half. That was it. But and then a block in the second half. But we reduced Harry Kane to a couple opportunities, and that is ridiculous. And he was winning aerial challenges. And if he wasn't winning them, it's like he's putting the player off to not be able to get to be able to direct the ball and pass it out to their forwards and build their team into their area. It's absolutely the defensive acumen of this man is very, very high. And then he can play, killing passes into midfield lines, out into wide areas as well. So he's just got a complete game. In terms of he's top level. And then in terms of the loyalty that Antony and Martinez have, it's infectious now. Because it's such a smart move that Ten Hag done there, bringing two players that know that this system and how he wants to play works. Everyone's believing in what he's having to do. I'm seeing underlapping runs from Delo. I'm seeing him take shots. I'm seeing him trying to be positive. And then he had his test against Perisic early in the first half, 1v1. Because I've seen him get ripped by Dan Juma the season before. So for him to play well, against certain players this season, and he's been consistent minutes after minutes. And we need a new right back for sure, either to push him or to give him, to be better than him. And I don't want to look past him already, but it's like we need someone to push him, because the body it's every 3 days that we're asking these players to play now. Of course, you made a good point as well. We need a striker. We do need a striker, and you would know the importance of that. But we need more goals. Rashford is levering the ball. He had a chance in the first half and another chance in the second half on his left foot. The ball drops. Well then I won't speak about that then. But the back four unit right now is very solid. We need to worry about Varane. Is he going to be able to play 38 in a season? But just the way that the team gave us a huge amount of confidence in the way they were playing. Our biggest worry maybe is Sancho, if that's one of our topics today. He's maybe an issue.
Talk about him.
So then he's maybe a big issue for us. I don't know if he's playing like he loves the game. You need to demand and always want to have the football in areas, and when he's getting it, he's kind of being wasteful in it. Anthony yesterday, was very direct. He should have had a couple of those moments as well, but it's like he shies away from these moments. And Ten Hag's biggest issue is maybe he's now starting to get the best out of Luke Shaw, but he now needs to start getting the best out of Sancho. Elanga needs to come into a bit more. I think he's regalvanized Rashford. Rashford looked like he was down and lost last season, but he's regalvanized him. And Anthony and Martinez are extremely loyal to this system and how it plays. So it's just been infectious for us. So I'm very happy.
Right. So I know we was mentioning this about Fred was man of match. I didn't think he was man of match, but I thought he had a very, very good game. But look, he just needs to shoot a little bit less. But that's my only little problem with him in that game. But in terms of him getting around the pitch, doing all that, I want to ask you, Garf. Obviously, you said a little bit on him. But you give your little thing. I seen you had a little conversation.
I was going to say, you see my Twitter then? You've been looking at my Twitter, ain't you? You still.
I need to see this.
Just quickly ask Marcel, for you, who was man of the match? I was going to ask you that anyway. Who was your man of the match yesterday?
Appreciate that. Martinez by a landslide. Martinez, or I like Bruno, so Martinez or Bruno, but I've just seen Martinez produce 8 out of 9, 7 out of 9s every single game so far. Out of 10, sorry. So but Martinez or Bruno, but I would like to give it to Martinez.
Yeah, fair enough. On to Fred. Listen, I thought Fred played well yesterday. I thought he played well, but it's one of the things. This is the same thing that everyone's talking about Scott McTominay. Just because he played better than he usually does doesn't mean for me it was a great performance. I looked at the stats: 78% pass making it. Can't think of the word now. That's not great for a centre midfielder in this system. Completion, that's the word I'm looking for. 78% completion on passes, dispossessed 15 times in the middle of the park. He's still making silly errors in my mind. His decision making isn't great. Listen, what he did by what James was saying, by driving the team forward, like really spearheading that high press and things, wonderful. But he is, for me, still just a averagely good player. He's in that same bracket as McTominay. For me, he's just a little bit better. McTominay can do it just a little bit more. But listen, this is the thing. Like, I'm not giving him props. It's just everyone played well yesterday. Every single player on that pitch played well. And for me, Fred was one of the lower ones down. He really was. But it's all opinions in it, man. You know what I mean? I know it looks like I'm in the wrong because a lot of people are saying that he's man of the match, Fred. And I didn't see that. Like, obviously, something like I didn't see that. Yeah.
Any other players, though? Any other players that you want to give a mention? Because obviously, we just went through the list. But in your mind, was there anyone else that you want to actually go in a bit more detail on in the game yesterday?
Yeah, Dallo for me was exceptional going man of the match. That's the best performance I've ever seen from Dallo. That whole back four was magnificent yesterday. It really was. This is what I mean. Everyone, like if you want singular, I think again Fred and Rashford. I'll go the other way. Were the two that I was least impressed with. Rashford particularly. This what you're saying, Dave. This power shot thing. Exactly what you're saying, Marcel, as well. Like, bruv, just. Like I hate the cliche of Mananka to put that way, but that one in the second half where he's done all the work, dropped his shoulder, got through three men. Mate, I could have put that away. Just curl it into the bottom bin. You know, like it's so simple, but yeah, he got through. I know you told me why that can happen, Dave. Like your brain goes like once you've done all that, you're there, and you're just getting the shot away. But still, that's what makes the difference between a key player and you're not quite there in it. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, whole team magnificent, bro. So
right. Well, for me, yeah. When they were saying man the match, the first word that came out of my mouth was Casemiro straight away because his left foot, his right foot, his range of passing was just ridiculous. Everything he was doing, I was like, that's why we need this player in this team. This is what we've been missing. I'm like everything, drill, pass, dink, round the corner. It's like when and I'm looking at it and I'm going, I'm not having a go at McTominay, but when he went to his left and he saw the player, he was just able to use his left foot to curl it down the side to the player. Where I was thinking that would have never happened with McTominay because he can't use his left. He has to cut back completely and then use his right. And then the chance is gone. So the smoothness and the fluidity of the game comes from a player who has everything. And that's why when I look at even a Tielemans, when I was watching him in Leicester, I could see he has the array of passes, but he probably doesn't have the defensive side as much. So I'm really, really happy Casemiro is in this side and he's showing what he's all about because there was no level, like that level yesterday, McTominay or Fred could never reach that level in their life, ever. No. Even the best of games ever. They could maybe smash people, but they'll never reach that level of quality on the ball. Never. So that's why we need them kind of players in our side, and that's why we controlled that game. Imagine he was playing against the Arsenal. We probably would have controlled that game a lot more. But obviously, it's early days. But anyway. Yeah. So
the other thing I've got... Sorry, no, go on.
No, I'm just going to say Casemiro, great game. Bruno, flawless. Pretty much flawless yesterday, because I was like, he's doing everything right, not giving no silly balls away, and just being a proper captain. That was a proper captain's performance yesterday. And I was buzzing for him because I'm going to put another thing out and say, listen, he has listened to me and he's gone for it. And now he's over the other side. Hopefully he continues doing that. Sorry, Garf. Go on.
No, sorry, I didn't mean that. I was just saying the other thing with Casemiro is, and the difference between the Fred and McTominay is he trusts his ability to make them passes as well. And this is what I think, coming to your point about Sancho, Marcel, he's not trusting himself at the moment. So to just trust his ability, man. Trust his ability. But you probably didn't see me last night, Marcel. I threw out the apology, mate. Bruno is captain material. I said it live. Yeah. He's captain material, mate. I take that back, brother. That's back in the mouth, mate. 100%.
Can I just mention something then? I think Bruno needs to look at a player like Luis Figo that allows other players. His game's so good, he accentuates other people's game. Yeah. It's a holistic number 10 game. And then I agree with you wholeheartedly, Garf, in Fred's role. Because he played well today, doesn't mean that he's going to be a fantastic player. I think if a player like Jude Bellingham was in the positions that he got in Newcastle, then I think we convert chances, we score goals. Even if Jude Bellingham was in the positions that he was, and he's got a well-rounded game, Jude Bellingham, going forward and backwards, a lot better and a higher level than Fred. So we need an upgrade on Fred to produce the exact kind of performance that he's been producing the last two games. So I agree with you completely, Garth.
100% there, 100%. We had a Bellingham in there. That's a perfect. We're going to talk about who we need anyway as a squad later on. So I'm going to talk about that. But that's one very good player to add in. So does that mean you wouldn't have Kane anymore, Marcel?
I'm 100% taking Harry Kane. He just was in a poor team and a poor setup for his game. Everything he done well was crisp, but Martinez locked him up. Martinez is on a different bracket against him. That's all.
Exactly. Right. Let's go on to the third one now. Will Rashford score 20 plus this season? With him obviously missing the target quite a bit against the team in Europe. I can't remember what they called us. It wasn't Ammonia. And then yesterday, and then Newcastle as well. He's had pretty much around 10 chances to score about 10 goals. I was reading this from Henry on Rashford. You open the goal up, you just finish it. Place it. Why hard? Side foot goal. See you later. And Evra. Not everyone has your brain. This is what I said to my son. I was doing finishing last week, Tuesday, with my son and the teammates of his team. And we were doing getting in the angle and slotting it bottom corner. Exactly that. And saying, open your body out and slot it bottom corner right in the court side netting.
Yeah.
And they were getting on it and getting it better and better. And then I said, you see that? You see what he does? He's got in and he's banged it. Makes it easy for the keeper to save. And when you look at the whole goal, take a look at that image again. Yeah. Look at the whole goal. All he has to do is slide it. So much of the goal is open. And he's missed. He's missed.
That's what I am.
It is very, very difficult. What I was mentioning to Garf. When you go through, when you do bits, and then you do a step over, and you push and then shoot, you lose your bearings a bit. And then you have to slow yourself down in a way where you're still in motion, but then you can get used to putting it still in the corner. That's where you lose your accuracy. But the best of the best, they finish them right in the corners. Your Agueros, your Van Pees, your Nistelrooys, even your Andy Cole. Them guys, they score like mad, like in the corners. And that's what I'm saying is the difference between a Rashford, a Lukaku, them kind of players. They don't score them kind of goals often enough to be put in the brackets of them kind of boys. That's the difference between them guys and other players. And that's why when we talk about a striker, when we talk about your Ivan Tonys and stuff like that, that's where, in my mind, all I'm thinking is I need a player who's in that bracket, in finishing. I need a player in that bracket. I don't care about everything else. As long as he's in that bracket in the finishing side, I'm happy because the top of the top teams have him. Lewandowski, your Messi's, your Mbappe, your Haaland, your Kane. If you don't have one of them players in your team as your starting man, sorry, you're way behind. You're never going to compete for a championship. But anyway, what you got to say, Marcel, on Rashford? Do you think he'll get 20 plus goals this season, considering the amount of chances he's getting? And I think he'll convert, but I'm going to answer it afterwards. But what do you think?
No, I appreciate you starting me with this because I'm obsessed about this because I used to be a forward back in the day. Firstly, you have to. So there's two things. Like Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo, he was able to do it at speed, so he couldn't lose his bearings because it's like a flow with the ball. It's like you're one with the football. So when you're cutting in at high speed, you've cut in such a way that you can still have the rhythm to compose yourself and know where the area of the net is. Footballers or strikers should be obsessed with the side nettings. You know, they should be having the cones out there, the light cones all by the side netting and just levering it. Because if you are levering it and practicing at speed, it's good. It means that you're buying yourself time because the goalie can't adjust, the defenders can't adjust. And 100%. If you can do it at speed, you put yourself in a different bracket, you know, the Cristiano Ronaldo and the real Ronaldo bracket, because they were hitting the side netting at high speed. You can't stop them no matter what you do. So that's one thing. If you are then slowing yourself down, you need to look at the goal a bit more. Harry Kane does that as well. He looks at the goal and then levers it because Harry Kane does have the levered finish as well. But he just knows where that side netting is. They should be obsessed with hitting the post and the side netting because that's so far away from the goalkeeper's hands. I think if he can do that, and I don't understand, we've been saying all the time, he's had world-class strikers alongside. When he's doing his shooting training, he should be seeing these guys hitting net, or the crossbar, all sorts of the areas of the goal that's so far away from the keeper. So I don't know why he's not got that cultured finish yet. When he scored 20 goals a season, I've seen him do it close. I've seen him being close enough to it, but the game meant that he had to have space in behind defenders. So now when you're going 1v1 and you're trying to lever it all the time, he does need to either slow it down or have a better rhythm with the ball at your feet. I think he can score 15 plus every season. 20 is a big ask because, like you said, it puts you it's in a different bracket. I mean, Lukaku was able to do it just because of his physical presence. You know, it's at such an elite level that pushes you an extra 10 goals a season, or whatever it is. His technique wasn't on the level of a Lewandowski or Benzema or these kind of players. I hope that he can, but he's a winger, I think, and it showed it in the moments where he did get through. He's a winger for us. I mean, he had an opportunity to shoot with his left foot with a De Gea pass over the top and the ball's bouncing in front of him a couple of times. Hit that with your left foot. You know, be ambidextrous. It's an opportunity in front of goal. You're not going to get many of those in the game. You know, a 20-goal season striker knows that, and they know, well, this is my opportunity to score for my club. So, and or even just for your personal pride, the hunger to score goals, just hit that with your left foot and aim for that bottom corner. But I don't know, 15 goals for me seems like, and he comes off the wing a bit more. He needs to improve his crossing abilities and looking for other players.
Yeah, Garf, what you got to say on this Rashford situation? I know you didn't like his performance. You said his whole performance. You basically made it a point of his performance wasn't the best. But what do you think? Like listening to everyone else now, what are you thinking?
I stick with the performance. First of all, Nathan, I've got to say, isn't it a bit unfair having Nathan Ellerton as a finishing coach for your boys' team? You know what I mean? A little unfair in it, mate. It feels like cheating almost, fella.
Yeah. It's good to see you. Nice. But yeah, well, God, yeah. It's high standards, isn't it, that I got to put them to. But yeah, it's all about.
No, listen, the whole performance yesterday, like I said, it means nothing to me. All that work that you're doing, if you're not finishing it off, mate, because it doesn't mean anything. Like, it's lovely to see you doing it, cutting on inside, doing all this, taking on players. You know what I mean? Like, I make the joke, obviously, even if I'd hit it slow, because by the time I made it through them 3 players, I'd be so out of breath, mate. I wouldn't even be able to throw a leg at it. You know what I mean? It'd just be a toe punt into the bottom corner. But listen, if he can find that finishing, then we've got a player, the player we thought we had a couple of years ago, an absolute monster of a player, because he can. His pace scares people, coming in off the flank. 20 goals a season, exactly what you and Marcel were saying. It's a massive arse, man. I've seen him do it once, you know what I mean? And in the rotation system we're going to have, you know, when Martial's back as well, Sancho, Martial, Anthony, him. I don't know. But yeah, for the performance yesterday for me, like, people were like, we did all this hard work, look what he's doing. And I'm like, no, it means nothing to me, mate, because at the end of the day, he had 3 gilt-edged opportunities. If we'd drawn that game, this conversation would be very different today. Very, very different because of them. He had the one against Ammonia. I don't agree with, was it Alan Shearer saying Ronaldo should have been on, because he definitely would have scored that. I don't know if Ronaldo would have been in that position. So, I don't agree with that. But bottom line is, you've got to put them away. You've been chosen as the main striker at Man United. You've got to put them away, mate. Otherwise, your position's under threat, and rightly so.
Yeah, Alex, we've just been talking about Rashford. I was mentioning that he's had a lot of chances, and he obviously his chance to goals conversion rate is not that low. It needs to be lower down, like 1 in 3, 1 in 4 shots, not 1 in 7, 8, 9, maybe. So obviously, although I believe he played very well yesterday, he just missed the goals, and I'm happy with that. I'd rather that than the other way round earlier on in the season, where he wasn't playing well, but then he scored the odd goal. I know it's weird. You want both, but I'm more happy if you've got a player playing well, and then the goals will come. But if you've got a player playing not well, and then the goals are not there as well, it's a bit of a nightmare. But what did you think of what did you make of his game yesterday?
I mean, oh God, I thought they all played. First of all, I thought they all played really well yesterday.
Yeah.
I was in shock. I literally was tired, and then I started watching the game, and then 20 minutes into it, I was like, whoa! I was like, okay. I sat up and I got out of bed, and I got into it. I was like, okay, and I got got the feeling of it. And for me, with Rashford, it was so frustrating to see him. I think I was writing the group chat. I was like, he's getting in the behind the fence, like what he does, and he was so close, and I was so disappointed for him. And I think the frustration that comes with it is like, he's been at our club for so many years, and he's grown up there, and we're so like, we've got this affinity to him. But at the same time, we've also got this want to win, and this need to win, and this need to have somebody who's polished, who is going to be clinical, who's going to finish. So I think that's where where we're so conflicted with it, because we want him to do well on one hand, but at the same time, we just want him to just do it now. And I feel like where he's at as well, and especially the season he had last season wasn't the greatest. Coming back from injured again. I think he's still trying to find his way. I think his confidence is coming up. You can see it. 100%. I think Ten Hag is really bringing that out of him, and you can see the players all themselves like playing together. Like, it's been amazing to watch, especially last night. But I just think that like, we're gonna all feel so disappointed because we just want him to just be that prolific goal scorer. And I think we're looking at Gakpo and we're like, oh my God, look at this guy who's like tearing it up. And we're like, oh, we want him, but we have this. And I know that seems so harsh on Rashford because we love him, but I think we just want to win now, right now, more than ever. We want to win. So we're so disappointed, basically. But I thought he had a great game yesterday. definitely.
Good. You separated the two. You're able to see that as well. That's good.
Yeah.
But one thing that I noticed when it comes to Rashford is I feel like the similarity with him and your Darwin Núñez at the moment, because they both get a lot of chances and create a lot of chances and don't score what they should do. But the reason why they're in the side is because they're such a danger and they're able to do stuff on their own. They're able to cause mayhem. And with that, you're going to get your goals that you needed as well. So for me, I'm happy with him, but I want him to do better. I know his finishing is actually, when you watch him in his finishing in training and stuff, and even the finishes we've seen over the years, there are some great finishes. But it's just now you really got to be potent and you got to bring that down to 1 in 3, 1 in 4. That's what I was always trying to work on. I need to be a 1 in 4, 1 in 5 kind of goal scorer at the championship levels and stuff like that. That's what puts you in the good bracket. But then when you're in the Prem, you need to be 1 in 3, 1 in 3, 1 in 4 to be really at the top of the top. So, yeah, I think he's definitely capable of doing it. But it's a case of, is he going to do that in training and realize that's what I need to work on? I'm getting onto that.
I was going to add to that as well. It's like so for example, you watch the Crystal Palace game against Wolves and you see Zaha getting in that similar position and then him being one-on-one with the keeper and then him actually finishing. You're like, where's that? Like, and you feel like Marcus Rashford is of a better ilk and a better quality. So that's arguable. So it's like that's the finish that we need that we're not getting, and it's like, when's that going to come? Is it too late now? Can he be taught that? Can that come out of this training?
Yeah, you can. So what I realized, I remember doing finishing, and then I remember having my coach. He used to be my teammate actually, but he was my coach when I went to Ipswich, and he was doing finishing. And what he would do is he'd play it into me, and I play the ball past him. And what he'll do is he'll nudge me as I go to shoot, and it totally puts you off. But you have to get used to that and learn how to finish after you've been pushed, and then finish. So if you can practice that kind of stuff, it does get you more and more used to it. It just takes time. You just got repetition. That is something that you can do, especially when you've got the shot, the skill to hit the ball, how Rashford can hit it. He's got the whip. He's got the strike. He's got even with his left foot, he can hit well, some balls. So he's got the tools. It's now just continue doing repetition on the types of finishes that were going to get you that. So what I would do in training now is I'd put some cones out. Step over, beat the man like you did, and then try and slot in the corner like 10, 20 times in a row. Once I get that, do it again next day and the next day. And that's what you get. So that's that. That's Rashford out of the way. And we're on to another important topic. Obviously, Ten Hag has to be ruthless in his decisions. He actually has been. So I'm loving what I'm seeing of him. Yeah. So here's the next one for you guys. It's a pretty good one. You have to do some thinking here. What are United missing in order to compete for the league title? Take a look at our side there. I know the striker's not in there. I don't know why. But Delal Varane, you've seen us. You've seen what we're about. But I believe the squad needs to be able to score from different areas. I just spoke to a friend of mine earlier today, and he was like, when you look at our defenders, none of them score. None of them actually score. Then you look in midfield, Eriksen hasn't got a goal yet. Casemiro obviously hasn't scored. And then you look at the wingers. Again, you've got Anthony who started scoring, Rashford who's scoring. But, again, you don't see creation of balls into the box from enough goals from a Rashford getting down the wing and putting a ball in, or even a Sancho. And maybe there's only one goal so far from Anthony. So looking at that as a whole system, what do we actually need to put into this side in what positions to be able to start competing with the likes of Liverpool, City, and now obviously Arsenal going up there? Let's go first, Alex, because you haven't been, you just joined us. Alex, you're first, and Marcel, then Garf. Go on.
Thanks. I mean, I think ideally you'd always want to have like a competent squad that everyone can score a goal. And I think that you can look at teams like Chelsea, for example, where, Rudiger could score, Thiago, you've got Reece James, Chilwell, and all that kind of stuff going on. But at the same time, you want your forwards to be doing that job. I felt like it was always kind of off balance with Chelsea, where it's always you're relying on your wing backs to kind of be the ones that bring the gold home. And I think it's like if you look at maybe Liverpool as well, like you could see that they've got equally like a lot of their players could score. So that's what you want. And then you look at Man City, for example, they were without a striker for how long? And they were just pinging in goals for fun. So that is an ideal situation. I think where we're at right now, we're not there. I think ideally for me, it would be great if we had like a Reece James type or a Trippier even who could score free kicks just out of nowhere and
Good.
like, because that's instantly a goal, like a goal threat and a threat for us. For any other team, we can get a free kick specialist. That's amazing. I think, yeah, like set pieces. If we could utilize Maguire in the best way, even Varane, for example, and Varane could like get in the box. I just feel like right now I think we're just trying to go back to basics where we're trying to just defend properly. We're trying to have a midfield that can dominate and control and can work, and we're trying to get our forwards to be able to take shots and create shots and also score. So I think that's why it's a little bit like kind of disjointed stop start. And I think we're building something. And I think as the summer and the seasons progress and as we get more players that come in, we're going to get those players that are going to be able to do all of those things. I think it just is going to take a little bit of time. But ideally, I'd love a goalkeeper that can assist. Hello, that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I want that. I want a goalkeeper that can save a goal as well. Like I want all of that stuff. So I think it's just going to take a bit of time for us to get those key players into those positions. And once that happens, we will be like a Man City-esque type of team, or even, where we can do all of those things. But for right now, we're just functioning, doing the basics, which I wanted to see in the first place anyway.
Yeah. Well, Marcel, so Alex has said a right back. That's a good position as well. Any other positions you're thinking, listen, if we improve there, that really makes us even better? Like Casemiro came in, we've improved there. Eriksen's coming, we've improved in the middle. Now, who else now do you think we can get in and really make a difference to our side being stronger?
So we obviously mentioned, the change of Fred to Jude Bellingham. You want goals from midfield. I think that's so important to a team. You mentioned Eriksen in the 10, but if from deep areas, players driving into the box, late runs, he's got the height as well. So from corners, he's a threat as well. I think having an additional goal scorer midfielder that can take the burden from the front three in times or important parts of the game, or important moments of the game, should I say, is important. So I'd say that's one. I think Delo, once he has better players around him, he's starting to get shooting opportunities and he's working areas into the pitch where he does look like he gets through on goal. So I think he'll add more goals once the team gets a lot better. I think the striker is an important role. We've all mentioned that, but there was many a time in the game where Rashford didn't win any headers. The ball would go over his head. So I think that target man, and that focal point 9 is important so that we can get the ball down into midfield areas and start dictating play earlier while the opposition is trying to still work out their shape, or while the ball's rushed into their defensive line. I think a striker is important. So in a striker and a midfielder, I think once you get a good enough striker, then maybe you get the best out of Sancho because he's competing with Rashford, who scores goals, especially, and he's a big game player, I would say. Rashford, as he's maturing, is becoming a big game player. The left side, I don't think you can get many goals from there. A set piece man would be good as well. Somebody that is fantastic at set pieces, but we can rely on Eriksen and Bruno for that right now. And then maybe a goal scoring defender, from set pieces. But you don't expect defenders to maybe get more than 10 or 8, 6.
Yeah, but we need at least someone with
3. 3. Yeah. You're right. And
there's
none
not
of them,
anyone.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe Skriniar or something. You need a stern defender, someone that can partner Martinez. To be honest, it wouldn't be Varane that I would want someone to partner. It's Martinez that you need someone to be alongside. That's really physical, strong, and dominant. A Van Dijk-esque when he was good, or a Saliba, but that can add goals. So that's what I'd be looking for.
Why are you laughing?
Absolute low-key shade. Yeah, low-key shade thrown at Van Dijk there.
When he was good.
Oh, I missed the shade. Oh, I missed it.
Wow. Thanks, Marcel. That was lovely thrown in there. Oh, my God. From you two is good. So we've got right back. You've got a central defensive midfielder, not central defensive midfielder. You've got like a Bellingham. So in my mind,
box to box.
Bellingham would be great addition. A right back that can score or take free kicks like a Trippier would be great. If we did have him, even as a squad player, it would have been great for the squad right now. So that's 2 positions which are clear in my mind, which I've got from you both. Obviously, you've got some more positions, but Garf, anyone in your mind that you think, wow, if he was in this side right now, they look amazing. On top of that,
Yeah, well, I mean, talking of low-key shade, you already threw it at Ivan Toney a minute ago, mate, and you know I see why I went up there. First of all, I'll just say this about, as a fan of Man United for a long time, have we ever had a defender that scored 6, 7, 8 goals a season? Ever, period, since Steve Bruce? Never.
I was going to say,
I can't think of
Steve Bruce.
Jack Stein scored headers and them boys, and Roddy Johnson used to score some headers and that. So
what, 7, 8 a season? No, we've never. Yeah, we've never had it. Never. We don't have defenders that score goals.
Yeah, but Rio used to score goals. How many did he
Rio
score?
didn't score goals. Rio scored a few goals.
Well, not maybe like 5 or 6, but Rio scored goals. He scored goals.
I thought Rio scored like 7 goals in his entire career for Man United.
The difference is our midfielders scored 20 plus. Like all of them scored about 20. Like Beckham.
No, it's just saying, It's just a Man United fan. I've never seen it. It's not something. I'm old school, mate. I don't care where the goals try to come from. As long as I prefer to have 3 20 goals a season up top, and that's it. No goals from anywhere else. I like to see high. Yeah, it's nice to have it. Don't get me wrong, but as long as someone's putting it in the onion bag, I don't really mind where they're coming from. Oh, I agree. A set piece taker all day. That is 100%. I know Bruno and Eriksen are decent enough, but yeah, Trippier, us not getting him when he went to Atletico Madrid, it's just proving to be madness now. Yeah, at that price and everything, 100%. If we're talking strike, I'm going Ivan Toney or Andre Silva up top. They're different styles of striker. They're very different, but either one of them for me comes into this team and really changes our dynamic. It really does.
Okay. What was I going to say? So when you're talking about a season, how many goals do you think Man United would score as a club? Just give me a rough number. How many goals a season?
I mean, I could 50.
No, for the team, for the whole season.
For the team for the whole season, like 50 to 60. I think like across like competitions, all competitions. I think we've
2
done
goals a game. That's not good enough.
Too low. That's too low.
Yeah, it's far too low. Yeah.
Man United need at least 90 plus.
We need to
get to the 130s. I mean, we play a lot more games than back in the day, but you used to get Andy Cole, Dwight York, Teddy, and all of them at least hitting 15 each or something, and maybe Ollie because he doesn't get as many minutes as a 10 or 11. So I think
it's just but this team now, I think that is their limit, their level right now.
Well, this is what I'm saying, Alex. This is exactly what I'm trying to get at here. I'm pointing at the fact of the matter is, how many is Anthony gonna get? Maybe 8. Yeah, maybe 8. Let's say. You got Rashford, probably get you 15, 16. And then you've got Sancho, might get you 8 as well. Yeah, if he continues playing the way he's playing. So that's not much. And then you got Bruno, who might get you 10, 12. Then who else is there? If you can only get that.
Fred will get you 4.
He'll get you 2.
Fred will get you 4.
One more.
Fred will get you 4.
That's not enough. That's not enough. We need more from other areas. Otherwise, we're in trouble. We need 20 plus goal a season players. So that's what I'm saying. We're a little bit off, but it's like we just
Luke Shaw will get you 3 potentially.
Maybe.
I think you've been well generous here, Alex, with the numbers you're giving. Fred scored. I was just having a look. Fred scored 7 goals in over 120 games for Man United. I just had a look at Rio as well.
Last season,
7 goals.
He scored like 3 last season. So I think one more this season.
I'm going to talk about this. Though. I'm going to talk about what I'm saying here. So
we need a goalkeeper that can score. How about that?
What goalkeeper are you looking for, Alex? Assists, saves, goals.
Alisson Becker. Okay, bring back Henderson. I'm desperate at this point. Like, please.
Wow. Nah. I think I don't think any. You know what? Now, like obviously, Ivan Toney is doing well for his team. He's doing okay. But I put him in the similar brackets as a Danny Ings, as a Calvert-Lewin when he was on fire. Like he was doing well. I don't put him in a bracket higher than that. I don't. I just can't. I don't know what you guys are thinking in terms of what's his overall stats. For example, if you was to give him a stat on FIFA, he'd probably be like 79. Yeah, that's not bad as a striker. But the 79, it's like not 89, not 90. What is he then, Garf? What do you think he is?
What right now, Ivan Toney? I'd say he's a gold rare 84 minimum, bruv. Like, honestly, if
84.
we're going FIFA, yeah, all day, mate. He's ripping up for Brentford, mate, at the moment. And what I think he brings ain't just, this is where we're getting to different conversations. This is what I mean about Andre Silva is different to Tony. Tony don't bring you the 25 that you're talking about. What he brings you is bringing everyone else into that team, bringing everyone else into that. His hold up play is
84.
well good from what I've watched. Yeah, I'll give him 84, 83, 84.
I think you have to have a look at who is 84 on the game because
they've dropped him.
Rashford's 81.
Yeah,
Sancho's 83, and they're wingers, but like striker wise, I don't know many 84s, you know. Like that's high. That's real high.
Yeah, I think
world class levels here. He's not
world class. No, 86 is the world class. World class on FIFA is 86 to me, bro. That's what I mean. I think he's just. I think honestly, you put him in a team that's got creative ability that Man United's got with the Antonys, with the Brunos, with the Ericssons. I think you see him bang, mate. I think you see him bang.
Let me ask you a question then. When Calvert-Lewin was banging for Everton, what was the difference with him? Because he was great in the air. He was pressuring people like mad, scoring goals inside the box when the ball came in. Like, but I always looked at him. I knew he's not a world-class player. So what's the difference between those two when they're both on form? Like, who's better? Even Calvert-Lewin's very fast as well. So
Tony, Tony. But I think this, you're getting hung up on this world-class thing, Nathan. Like, there aren't that many out there.
Yeah,
there aren't that. Yeah. Sorry, Marcel, go on. Yeah.
No, the striker market is poor, but I do think he's not an elite bracket player. I agree with Nathan to that sense. But then what he does bring, maybe can he score more goals than Martial? Then is he an upgrade? I'll throw that to you guys. Is he an upgrade on Tony Martial? Ivan Tony.
I think
so.
They're so different, man. But I do think so. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then King Eric, who by the way bring up this brilliant topic, has said Lautaro Martinez, who maybe is a little bit shorter profile, doesn't have the height and the length that's required, maybe, and maybe he's not a better link-up man than both of them. So then do you look for Lautaro Martinez? That's a different caliber of structure. He's maybe closer into the world-class bracket, but then you're losing so many attributes that Martial and Tony bring. That's a really
something I agree with you. I agree with you guys on one thing, that the market is not the best. It's very difficult to decide. I can't think of anyone that's even out there that I want to go get. But this is the thing. What did Man City do? They waited years and years. They said, I ain't buying a striker. I ain't just getting a striker because he's one of the best out, the best that's left. We're waiting till we get the top of the top. We're not going for the others. Look what they did with Jesus and how good he is. They even want him, and he's top. And we want even Tony. Who's better, Jesus or even Tony?
Well, then let's get Kane.
I don't know.
Can I just throw this out there though? Ivan Tony, I think a 1 in 2 goal ratio in the Premiership is top tier, and that's what he's got with Brentford. He's played 44 games, scored 21 goals in the Premier League for Brentford, man. That's top tier. That's top tier.
But you're playing for your team, that you've come up with and you're on fire with, and you're always going to play every week, all the game. That's the same as my boys that came up when I came up. We had Bobby Zamora killing it at Fulham. You had Darren Bent killing it at Middlesbrough.
Benny was a great player, man. Benny was a great player.
Yeah, but they're not the world class. That's what I'm trying to get at. They're not the world class level. They're good.
No, but
they do a great job.
Yeah, but I don't think you need the
Man United level. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I think you're stuck.
Serious. But
I think you're stuck on this world class thing, Dave. I agree with Alex. I don't think you need it to be a world class player. I truly believe Tony makes a difference. I really do. And for me, and I know you're saying it's just stats, but a 1 in 2 in the Premier League, that's world class. That is. That's in the Premier League, the hardest league in the world. 1 in 2.
I'd have him in the squad. Yeah, I wouldn't mind him in the squad. But my point is, he's not my main guy I'm going to be going for and put all my money in for 100 mil or 50, 60, 70 mil. I'm not paying that amount of money. I need to pay 70, 80 mil for the top of the top. I'm not paying big money like that again. We paid already 80 million for a Maguire. He should be 30 mil. It should be 30 mil. He's not anywhere near 30 mil even now. Like, so this is my point. It's like we're gonna pay ridiculous money for the levels that we're paying for. It's not really right.
I agree because he's now turned into captain, and if he goes anywhere near that England team, that's an extra 30 mil. But when are we gonna find anyone like Van Persie that comes into your team and guarantees you this is a win for the Premier League because you've got an extra 20 plus goals? There's no one in the market like that, Nathan. So then when you look at the little bit of the grade down, Ivan Toney's there. Wow, that's the next topic.
That's what I pick it up, because at the end of the day, it's about a striker and who's out there. Like, I don't know. I was even talking about João Felix, and he ain't even a striker. He's a flipping player in the hole he plays where Bruno plays. So I can't even say I want him, but he has certain attributes that I'd like to put him in. But again, he's not got the greatest record of goal scoring, but his attributes are what I'm seeing about him. But again, he's a Bruno replacement, not a striker replacement. So I can't even think of anyone. I can't think of anybody right now that I want really 100% I've seen. And I'm like, you know what? We need him.
That's what I've been saying, Harry Kane, like Alex mentioned just a second ago.
Yeah.
That's why, because I know he guarantees me that 20.
Yeah.
I know he's got a rounded game. Yes, he's getting a bit on the older side, but he's got attribute. He's got targets to hit. He wants to hit the 280 for against Alan Shearer. He wants to win trophies, and we can deliver that for him. So I would say Harry Kane.
Yeah, and if Karim Benzema wants to leave Real Madrid, I'll take him in a second. If he does, he's won everything there. He's just got a Ballon d'Or. It's boring now. Come over here. I'll take you. Just saying.
We need to unearth a gem. Like, we need a Ten Hag to go find a gem from nowhere. Like, no one knows. He's just coming up now, and he's bagging. Barry says, why can't we play Marcel down the middle with Anthony, Rashford and Sancho? It's because he's injured.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'd be lovely. It'd be lovely if he's about. Then do you know what? You've just said it, Nate. Maybe the answer is you take a gamble this year because the striker market is so you're not getting value for money wherever you go. Let's face it, even if we João Felix was a striker, we're paying 120 for that. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, Tony's 50 plus. Kane at 30 is going to be 100 plus. I'd love Kane, don't get me wrong. Maybe take the gamble and put Charlie McNeil up there and just say, here you go, mate, you've got 10 games. Let's see what you can do, because he's meant to be an absolute baller. I haven't seen much of him, but like maybe you take that gamble, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so lackluster. Like I said, if I had the money to spend, it'd be Tony or Andre Silva for me. They're two very different players.
Andre Silva's a goal scorer, isn't he? So
yeah. I mean, at Frankfurt, he destroyed it, mate. He was on like one goal every like 0.75 games or something mental like that. He was almost 1 for 1 or something stupid. Like he's a ball, but at Leipzig he ain't done particularly fantastic. Laurentino Martinez, that's one of them names I keep seeing, and I'm like, I've seen you play, and I don't like you, bro. I don't like, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes you've got a dislike for a player. The way you play. I don't like it. The market is dead, man. The market is dead.
You know what? You guys have convinced me. You two down there. Harry Kane is actually the best suited for us right now.
He is.
By far. And that could be available as well. If we can get him for a good price, I think I'll be happy.
What's a good price?
Okay, I was going to say, do you know who their chairman is, Nate?
Yeah, what's a good price?
I would pay 50 mil for Harry Kane. I would do it. Let's do it.
How old is he?
Burn the page.
30. He'll be 30 by the time the next season commences.
And how long is his contract got?
2 more years, I believe. 2 or 3 more years.
I would pay 85 mil for him.
Yeah.
With 1.5 years left, and he's 30. I'd pay 85 mil, and they better be happy to take that. And I would be very, very happy. He comes in this side, and Bellingham comes, and Bellingham comes. That would be sick. That would be serious. And we were talking about De Jong yesterday. I think we were talking about De Jong yesterday as well. If he ever came after they got knocked out of the Champions League,
he's
could be an Eriksen replacement. He could be the Eriksen replacement. Bellamy could be the Fred replacement. That's 2 a minute. Yeah, no, wait a minute. That Eriksen is so Bellingham would be for Eriksen, wouldn't he? In what we were
Eriksen or Fred, and then De Jong would. Well, actually, you want a kind of 6 replacement, or you want Casemiro and De Jong to end up playing together, maybe. So you would have maybe Scott then falls into the squad player role a bit more, and maybe Eriksen gets more replaced minutes with Bruno or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
maybe.
So we're just dropping the cool 375 mil in January. Then, you know, I mean, Kane, Bellingham, De Jong.
No.
And a new goalkeeper. And a new goalkeeper as well. 80 mil on the goalkeeper. 420 mil, lads. Job done. Let's get it on.
No. Okay, so you're right. That's how they should go about things. But that will happen every summer. It'll be one of those 4 every summer. So it's a Glazer signing for me to be Bellingham or Harry Kane. The Glazers would really want that to happen. They'll maybe overrule Ten Hag for that. And then Ten Hag would really mostly be still pushing for Frankie de Jong. So over the course of the next 3 years, I really do believe that we're going to get at least 2 of those 4 that we just mentioned. You know, each summer, they'll maybe put a big set of millions, maybe an 80 million signing on Harry Kane, an 80 million on, or 120 on Jude. And then they'll maybe go again 90 million for Frankie de Jong over the next 3 years.
How
You know
many
what?
how many levers can we pull at Barcelona to get all them players in one team?
No.
What players they got? Like Koundé, they got Lewandowski. They got.
It's different. It's a different gravy out there, Alex.
We
Isn't
got to
it?
go on their payment plan, don't we? I don't know.
Yeah,
But
there's a different gravy out there. Quick one, because I know you're Alexander Marcel. Who would you rather in the next window? We can have anyone, Alisson or Harry Kane?
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
It is Harry Kane. It is the striker. Yeah, fair play. That's why I was wondering. Yeah,
because I have to accept what you're saying there, and yes, I'm adamant, and it's against every bone in my body because I really believe it should be a goalie first. But I'm starting to understand. Like I've seen him produce reasonably well enough, so I can maybe suffer for another
year.
Yeah, I could maybe suffer for one more season, and then Diogo Costa is the one that I think should come in from Porto. But I could maybe suffer if we get that 20 goals, guaranteed 20 goals a season. That's what we really need. So I would rather prefer him.
He would have
You know what?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I didn't realise he was as young as that. I thought he was 31, Harry Kane. I got that well wrong. So like at 29, yeah, go out 100 mil, 120 mil, drop it on him, get him.
He's still 29 now.
Yeah, 20. It's what Marcel's saying. He's 30 next year, basically.
Lovely, lovely. Let's get him ASAP because end of the day, if he was in this side right now, we would be second right now, or maybe even first. Because seriously, them chances would have been converted like cash
away.
all day.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that would be great. Absolutely great.
You're gonna convince him then, Dave, yeah?
I was gonna say real daydream. Look at us, look at our eyes. Every one of us like, do you know what? Harry Kane in this team. Wow. Oh my god, we're winning things, mate. Get Harry Kane in immediately. But the problem
is finally.
Yeah, it is Daniel Levy. It is Daniel Levy. So I reckon you're still. I mean, I'm just having a look. Yeah, he's got 3 years on his contract still. You're talking 120 mil, absolute minimum for Harry Kane, and that. Yeah, of course we can. We've spent 80 on Harry Maguire, so yeah, of course we can afford it. But it's one of them, innit? That's your transfer budget gone for the summer. You're putting all your eggs in that. But I think it's fine. I really do think that's fine to do that. So
when we consider Ten Hag as well, Garf, it's like he does the other astute signing. So the Glazonomics say we want an English, high marks, shirt sales will go through the roof, all that kind of thing. And this summer we go Harry Kane. You find another 2 astute, clever signings. The next window, hopefully they go Bellingham, or hopefully it's this window they go back. This summer they go Bellingham.
Both,
because he's the next. If it's both, Nathan, that would be
85
even better.
and 80.
That would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. So, but I think
that'd be 2 of the biggest bargains of all time. Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham for 160 mil. That'd be madness, mate.
And then you get me Mbappe, and then I will sleep good every night.
We will be ready to destroy people with that team. Seriously, I'll be buzzing. But there's only one player I need now, and I'm buzzing, and that's Harry Kane. Simple. Forget everyone else. I ain't talking about no one else ever again. Harry Kane, I got my eyes set on him, and he's coming. He's coming. Let's make it happen. Let's wish it, and it comes true. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
Come on, Jonathan. Come on.
Manifest it into reality, people. Manifest it into reality.
It's a real thing. Just play this clip back when it happens, guys. Please, just play it back when it happens.
I hope you put in the notes so we can clip this, Garf. Yeah. We have got a massive game on Saturday. Alex, I hear you're going to be there. If you can get a ticket sorted.
Well, yeah, trying to get there. So, yeah, hopefully. But, yeah, I'm excited. I think that so far my prediction has come true in a sense that I thought the Newcastle would be a draw. We'd beat Spurs, our bogey team, and now we're going to
beat Chelsea.
I feel, I think we can beat Chelsea. I mean, I saw the game against Brentford, and I was like, we can beat you. We can beat you. We can beat you. I was like, we can beat you. So yeah, I feel like we can, regardless of like their atmosphere, that the players. I think we've got a really great chance.
Good. Marcel, do you think we can continue our form now and take Chelsea at the bridge as well, even considering they got some injuries as well, like to Reece James and so on?
Massive injury for him, and it would have been good to see. I think it would have been him against Sancho or him against Anthony. So it would have been good battle, good
right
test.
Side versus left, innit? So it would have been versus Rashford,
Yeah, Rashford. So it would have been good to see that. But I think it's going to be a draw at the bridge. We drew against them last season. I think it'll be another draw at the bridge. Potter knows how to set up teams. He defeated Ten Hag at the beginning of the season, he again with Brighton. So he kind of understands the tactics. He's already had a test of the tactics. And this would be kind of a test for Ten Hag as well.
Oh yeah,
it would be a massive test. So maybe a draw at the Bridge, but if they can play how they played yesterday, then we have all sorts of rights to win. But you have to earn that right against the home team,
especially away.
Yeah,
exactly.
So.
And Garf, me and you, obviously, we're going to be on tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. talking about this game completely. So we're not going to give anything away from what we think. So let's talk about that tomorrow, Garf. I know you're itching.
Surprises. No, mate, I'm good for that. You know, come back. You always leave them wanting more, Nate. You know what I mean? That's the number one rule of showbiz, mate. Always leave them wanting more.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And obviously, with the match being at 5:30, the reaction will be at 8 p.m. on the Saturday as well. I'll probably be on that myself, talking about how good we were and how many goals Rashi scored this time. You know, so yeah, it's been a great week. Obviously, it's been a great week for us so far. Hopefully, we can end it with another win and actually get closer to those boys, innit? Overtake the Spurs and get closer to get closer to City and Arsenal, because Arsenal looking like they're trying to run away with it at the moment. I'm not happy, and we're not happy. So look, it's been a good one. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks a lot in the comments for everyone. Make sure, I've seen some new people, they've already subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Make sure you click the like button as well. And thanks a lot, everybody. Take care. Good night. God bless. Peace.